On OBS because we do no editing. We're going to talk about deck I call Hard Science because that's what the card is called. Dawn and Wrath Hard Science. This is what I built for my cousin. He's very new to Magic. He likes not Magic the Gathering. He likes Magic. Like Doctor Strange is his jam. Constantine, Zatanna, anything with Magic stuff. He just loves that kind of stuff. Get my microphone way over here. I'm about to get a new microphone. So yeah, he just likes it. So automatically, blue, red is his go-to. He just started playing probably like a year ago or so. Luckily, Doctor Who came out and he was really excited about that because he's a big Doctor Who fan. Kind of falls in the realm of Magic. It's a little different fantasy, sci-fi fantasy. And he likes River Song from that. If anyone watches Doctor Who, they know who she is. And she's red blue, but it just I couldn't make the deck do anything. For her ability to pop off or do something, you have to make opponents scry, surveil, or search your library. And the only thing he was having luck with is blowing up lands and making them search for another land. And to be honest, we hate when people blow up lands. We try to avoid that with each other because it's just a cheesy way of playing, we feel. If you have to make the deck be this deck, but especially like him because he's new. But I just went through it. I didn't like it. He did get, is it Eevee? Whatever, I don't know what it is. It's the broken card from Final Fantasy. He's a big gamer. And I do not know anything about Final Fantasy. I'm sorry. Is it Eevee? Viva? I'm gonna try Viva Loca. Who does? Yeah, Vivi. Yeah. So he has Vivi, and I hear he's played it once, but I don't think he had everything like he needed in it. It is a broken commander. It's pretty freaking good. So again, Roma Magic kind of talked to him a lot. So he's stuck in red and blue right now. I don't know if he'll ever move away from that because he's not like a super duper Magic Gathering player. He's really excited for Marvel, like I am. We're both big superhero fans. If you see any of my other content, I talk about superhero movies half the time. So with this, I was like, all right, he's a big fan of Donatello. He told me he didn't get much Ninja Turtles, but he wanted to get all the Donatellos, and he didn't really get it. So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to help him out? And then I saw Dawn and Wrath Hard Science. They're only a 3-drop. Whenever Dawn and Wrath attack, which is great, because they don't have to do damage. The next non-creature spell you cast this turn has affinity for artifacts. So I'm like, that's huge. All you gotta do is crank out some tokens, some whatever, that you have them out there, and you could just use those to cast your artifacts, your instants, your sorceries, your enchantments. Only problem is I think I'm falling short on sorceries and instances. Maybe I'm relying too much on the creatures. So if anyone does watch this, they can help me out. I threw Ugin in there. I'm giving him like really good cards. I'm trying to give him really strong cards because he's new to it, so he could get a little heads up on us. Because this card's just broken. My friend played it the other night, and his deck, he had an artifact deck, and it just ended the game. It basically, there's nothing I can do. He had a bunch of, what was it? Whenever you play a Castle Colorless, exile up to 1 target permanent. That's 1 or more colors. That's everything if you have an artifact that's colorless, and he had a ton in his artifact deck. So yeah, it's just stupid. And then he goes to 11 and turn it up to 11. So I'll put that in for him. I put April Neal, Human Element. Whenever a player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery, get a Mugen token. So you're going to be casting a lot of artifacts already. Mugen tokens are going to be a lot of go-tos because that's going to be our mana. That's going to be our to tap for affinity, or not to tap for affinity, but we're going to use it to pay for the affinity cost. Big Mother Mauser. This card I think is really cool. It is a 4-drop, but you do get 2 1/1 counters on it. When this creature attacks, doubled it. So I would like to see him earlier in the game. And you could play around with it. I think there's a few things you could do with it. Again, I'm not the best Magic player. I don't know the best decks to build and all that. This is just me freeballing it, trying to do the best I can. and with all these decks I'm showing, I've picked 2 up so far, and this is the one I built for my cousin. I really like this card. I could be wrong. Foil is $16.99, which is crazy. That I believe because it comes in a commander deck. So, Card Kingdom's price. Card Kingdom's kind of high though. I love Card Kingdom though. They can sponsor me one of these days because I order from them all the time because I like my place where I'm getting my cards to ship all together. I don't like doing TCG and doing a bunch of different places, or I want to go through one store and they don't have everything I need, so it sucks. So Card Kingdom it is. I paid the extra to deal with that. Brutaclad, Telcor, Engineer. I'm gonna butcher names all the time with Magic. Creature tokens, you control have haste, so if we do pop out tokens, oh yeah, with Big Mother Mauser, once it dies, how many tokens you have on it, they turn in, or how many counters on it turn into tokens. So you get one robot, did they call me anything? Artifact creatures. So again, nice for affinity and nice to have just some blockers, I guess, out there. And the creature tokens have haste, so if that happens while this guy's out there, he is a 5. So I don't know for a 4/4, but at the beginning of each combat on your turn, create 2/1 blue Grand Mayor. I always say I'm wrong. Artifact creature token, then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. So that could be interesting. We'll see if I go further through this, if there's better tokens that we can make copies of. But that is a 5-drop. So I don't know if that's the best, but I thought it was pretty cool for red-blue artifact creature. I know a lot of red doesn't get seen played, I think, in artifacts, really. I don't know. I know blue is a big thing in artifacts. But again, just learning here. Cyberdriver Awakener costs 6, but I really think this is a good card. Other artifacts you control have flying. Flying wins the game a lot of times. If you can't stop it and you don't have a flyer yourself, it's really going to screw you up. And then when he enters, he changes any of your artifacts, non-creature artifacts, to 4/4 artifact creatures. So again, the Mousers turn into they'll be creatures. So the mutagen tokens, they would turn into 4/4 artifact creatures. That's cool. I think that would be helpful and it'll work. Donatello Gadget Master, he likes Donatello a lot, so I try to put all the Donatello cards in here if they worked. Only one I didn't put anything. It was a common or uncommon. It just didn't feel right. He has Sneak. I don't think you're really going to rely on that much. Donatello deals combat damage to a player. Create a token. That's a copy of target artifact you control. I think this is pretty good. For 3, getting a 3/2. You could sneak him in if you wanted to, but I think it's really good. I might be just dumb and not know my Magic, but he has to deal combat damage. Let's put that there. He has to deal combat damage. He creates a token that's a copy of an artifact you control. It's not to in a turn. It's not sacrifice. You get a copy of you're playing an artifact deck, so I think that's pretty good. Donatello Mutant Mechanic, put 3/1/1 counters on a target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, again, if we put on a mutagen or something like that, becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to other types, activate only as a sorcery. When an artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters up to 1 target artifact or creature. Kind of like Ultilith, if I say that right. Again, I butcher the words all the time. Of course, not as good as it, because you don't get to just bank them all on one, card and keep banking all your lost dead creatures tokens on there. But it is kind of cool. Whenever a creature that does have counters on it, you can move them off them, and move it over. I think that's pretty strong. He is a 4. He's a 3/5. I think that's decent value to get out of what he does. Tapping him to get 3 counters on a robot isn't bad. I think it's just situational, really, honestly. Donatello the Brains. I remember looking at this a lot because I bought the Commander deck, and I really like the Commander deck. I feel like people slept on the Commander deck. I'll show my build eventually that I did with everybody did it, I guess. Leo and Mikey, I thought I was special, but Leo and Mikey are really good together. They pop off immediately, and you're playing tons of I was gonna say Harry Potter, tons of Lord of the Rings stuff, tons of it. Tons of food stuff going on there, so that would be fun to talk about. But this one's if 1 more tokens would be created under control, those tokens plus a mutagen token. So you get another mutagen. I feel like I was replaying myself. Mutagen token. Another good way to get it. $4.99 regular, 99-cent foil. I guess 99-cent foil is because it's from the Commander deck, and he comes foil. And I guess if you get him regular, it's more rare. 3 cost, but he's a 2/4. I think that's not bad. Donatello Way with Machines. He's an uncommon, but flying, which isn't bad. When an artifact you control enters, put 1/1 counters on him. It helps out with the 1/1 situation. Dropping the counters on people, I think it's just a decent fill in there. It's 1/2, but you know, Emery's like in every artifact deck. Again, affinity for artifacts for her. She enters mill cards, choose target artifact card from your graveyard. Everyone should know that. And I think she has to be in everyone. Enthusiastic Mentionat. I always want to say merchant. Flying artifact spells you cast cost you 1 less. So, I mean, it's a 2/2, 2-drop. It's decent. It can fly and it'll help you out. This is going to help you out as well. Ethereum Sculptor. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less. Another way to get things out. But again, we're going to try to rely on hopefully getting artifacts out to use for our affinity if they're out. That's the problem. You have to really protect them. I don't even care. Yeah, I mean, you do care about him attacking. Maybe I put something in there to help protect him. But yeah, so I mean, there's these other ways of getting around stuff to give you extra mana. But I like Forensic Gadgeteer. Whenever you cast artifact spell investigate, you're making a token. So you have a ton of artifacts. You're going to be making tokens of clues nonstop. Activate abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. Depends where you're at. This effect can reduce the mana cost and the cost of less than 1. But it can't go below 1 mana. So if you do need to start cracking to put 1/1 counters, if you have mutagen tokens, they're only going to cost you 1. Clue token only cost you 1. I don't know if you really need it. You might need to draw a card. I think we did see that there was some issues with drawing in this. But again, that's something I'm going to have to look at after all this. But yeah, so I think he's good because you're going to get a lot of, if he's out, you're going to get a lot of clue tokens because you're going to be playing nothing but artifacts really. So I think he could be decent and his abilities are really good. But again, I think he's worth it. He's not a big budget guy or anything like that. Then we have Foundry Inspector, another artifact spell you cost you 1 less to cast, unless you pay 1 less. I don't know if it's the greatest one to have in there. He's a 3 cost with a 3/2. Maybe there's something better. I'm not sure. But as of right now, that's what I was like, okay, we got this guy, and we have him all giving us less mana to pay. So that's not bad. Fugitoid Droid. I actually really like Fugitoid. When I saw him, maybe it's because I have a soft spot for Fugitoid. I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan. The creature can't be blocked. This creature can't be blocked if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Again, he's a 1-drop, which is cool. 1/1. Alright. But it's good, I think, just to have a body and artifacts coming in and he can't be blocked. It might be good just to ding people away. Artifacts will be coming in. There might be stuff we could do with him. I'm not sure. I have to look at what else I put in here. But I do like cards like this that you pay a blue, sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. I like that a lot because you're getting bang for your buck for 1-drop. You're getting that ability that could happen later on. You could have them out there, never even use them if no one's killing them, and save them out there for whenever they cast against you or something like that, and it can help you out. Goldspan Dragon is pretty good. Flying Haste, whenever this creature attacks, he's not an artifact, but he attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. And treasure token has sacrifice this artifact in 2 mana of any color. So those treasures are pumped up with 2 mana. You may be just using them to count as affinity, but you may actually crack them because they're basically, there's no cost to get 2 mana out of it. That's a crazy thing to me is the treasures have no cost to get that color out, but then it'd probably be goofy that you're paying extra to get a mana or something like that. Maybe pay 1 to get 2 or something like that, but all the rest costs just to draw or, mutagen token to get 2, to get a 1/1, I should say. But treasures are just good. We got our captain, even though she's not a captain. It's not a pirate deck, but we know she plays with artifacts whenever you cast a historic spell. Draw, it's a good ability to get us drawing. I think it's worth it. 3/3, 4/4, it's fine. Goldspan's 5. He's not an artifact. I try to kind of mention that, but I just think he has a good place there. People could tell me if he doesn't. Kappa Cannoneer. I think he's decent. He doesn't improvise, so you have to tap your tokens if you want to use your tokens or other artifacts. I just think he's good to have in there. I don't know how many people play him in their decks, but it does cost 6, but he has ward 4, pretty protected. Whenever this creature or another artifact enters, put a 1/1 counter on him. It can't be blocked this turn. So I just think he's good for what he does. He's cheap, but maybe the risk of getting him for 6. But you can improvise with him, so I don't think it's that bad. And you have ward on him to anyone to do anything on him. You could stack him up pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. Krang Mastermind was one I had on the fence a little bit. Because he's 8. He does have affinity for that. But when he enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in your hand, draw cards. So another way to get cards on your turn. And then he gets 1+0 for each artifact you control. Again, you're supposed to be having a lot of artifacts out there. So having that big attack is pretty good. And if people can't block it, or they have big creatures and you have enough to just block it, and you might die because you have a 4 booty, but it might be worth it. I don't know. That one's I'm kind of iffy. I do like this Krang a lot more. He's 9, so that kind of sucks. But again, if Raph and Leo are out there and we got a swing, we can use affinity for token or for our artifacts. It may help get him out cheaper. I don't know. There's a lot that we can use, a lot of variables. But flying, trample, and destructible haste, and you give that to all your artifacts. I think it's so good. But you just got to figure out a way to get it out cheaper. That's the big issue. I don't know, people will say not to put this in an artifact deck, but I think it would be a lot of fun to have in your artifact deck because it's just cool. Plus, I like Ninja Turtles. Loyal Apprentice, I think, isn't bad because I don't think you worry about the haste, really. At the beginning of your combat turn, if you control your commander, create a 1/1 colorless. I think you just want to bank on getting a bunch of tokens of Thopters to either use A for affinity or to use to block flyers, chump block flyers. Granted, if they have trample or whatever, you're kind of screwed. But I think he's decent in there. He's not an artifact. He works with artifacts. But I think it's decent for at the beginning of every combat turn. You don't have to attack with them. You're going to get a 1/1 colorless. So I think adding those up will play decently and be worth it. When I first saw Metalhead, I really liked him just because I like Metalhead. I like Ninja Turtles. But I saw he was blue with red in it. And I was like, I wonder if you could put him in a deck. He's 5, but costs 4/4, and I was like, let me look at him. When enters, return up to other target artifact or creature to its owner. This is pretty good because we may have, I haven't really paid attention that it says when entered, but you may want to bounce something back in that you have to make it do its effect. So far, I don't think I had anything that really has an effect when it comes in. Or you could just bounce someone that has tons of, I've played against my friends that have tons of tokens on their guys, and I have blue, and I have to just bounce it in their hand, so I get all those tokens off it. Sacrifice another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Metalhead. He gains menace and haste till the end of the turn. So that's pretty cool, I think, if you have Mugen tokens out. Just sacrifice it, don't even pay for it, and you get a 1/1 counter already. Not even paying the 2 for it. And he gains menace and haste until the end of the turn. I think that's pretty nasty. I think it's cool. I may be off. It's only 35-cent card. Again, maybe it's just, I think it's cool art. I like Metalhead a lot in the comics and in the cartoons, but I don't know. I think he was fun. I think he's a fun piece in there. So who knows? Again, we're not playing like super, like top tier 1 decks. We're playing like around tier 3. Some of us get kind of into a tier 4, but mainly tier 3. We want to play out. We don't want to herp and kill each other. We want to see our decks do what we want to do and have the other guys doing well too. So we have like this real battle and we get to really play it out. So that's kind of, considering how we're building this, you have to kind of think about that, how we play. And then Padim, Council of Innovation, he's kind of a go-to for most artifact decks. Artifacts you control have hexproof, so that's a huge thing. Give everyone hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest mana value or tie for the highest, draw a card. Hopefully you will have that. Hopefully you'll have like Krang or something like that. Pinnacle of Emissary. This card I saw was getting a lot of love in Standard. Was it Modern? I think it was Modern. Yeah, I think it was a Modern deck, Infinity deck. I remember seeing it and then looking at it going, wow, this is really good. And whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless, draw an artifact creature with flying. This token can block only creatures flying. Fine, that's fine. We will deal with that. We'll be able to use them as blocking. And if anything, they'll be for Infinity. But the cool thing is people are using them for Warp, I believe, in Modern. So when you put them out, whenever you cast an artifact spell, so if you have a lot of artifacts, maybe 0 cost, they would play a bunch of them and they would get a bunch of tokens for that. So I guess that's the way they're playing them, I would think, in Modern. You could do that here in Commander if you have enough artifacts that would make him pop off. But I think in the long run, it'd be just better to play him at a 3-drop rather than just one turn to exile him. You could, again, if you have good enough amount of mana, you could play maybe 4 different cards, 3 different cards, and get 3 creatures. But I think in the long run, he'd be just nice to keep out there and play. And people will not want him to be out there because you're going to be creating flyers that can block. Can't attack, but they can block. Ravenous Robots, I think, is a really cool card too. I thought this was uncommon when it first came out. But, hey, I say but a lot. Reminds me of How I Met Your Mother. Look it up. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So it's only 2, and he's 2/1. Creature tokens you control gain haste until the end of turn. You could tap that, or not? Yeah, tap them for red, 1 red. That could be helpful depending on what you have out, but I think he's mainly there to just create some 1/1 colorless robots. Again, working with the affinity idea. Getting some tokens out there, some artifacts. And for 2, I think it's really good to be able to do that. Again, I could be wrong, but I relied a lot on a lot of this, I'll just say Spider-Man, a lot on the TMT set for a lot of these, and I thought they worked. They were cool. When I looked at a lot of things that worked with the Donnie and Raph Hard Science, a lot of these came up. So maybe I'm wrong, but who knows. Real Kill Rodney, I thought this was cool already when I saw it. I think I pulled a couple of them. Cost 2, Death Touch. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player with this creature, create a mutagen token. Really cool. He's got Death Touch. A lot of people may not want to block him. But then he has Squad 3 as additional cost to cast this. You may pay 3 any number of times when that creature enters, create that many tokens of this copy. So late game, he might be interesting. Beginning game, I don't think you're going to really want to make a bunch of them. But I think he has a cool ability, and he's from the Commander set, so you only can get him in there. He's only 49 cents, so it's not like he's that crazy, but foil $5.99. Side Master Thopterist, I mean, this guy is old as tale as time, wherever they say, old as wine, Beauty and the Beast. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact with flying. This is always huge. Everybody uses Sai. If he's not their commander, he's in their decks. 1 blue and 1 colorless, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. Again, another way to get draw power. When he was having issues the first time I saw him play this, I think I only seen him play it once, he was having draw power. So these guys got to come out to help draw. If not, I do have some cards in there that do drawing, but again, maybe you guys will have better ideas. Silver Mire, it's artifact, it's a creature, blue mana. I just threw it in there. There might be something better to have instead of that, but just holding a spot right now. Still Overseer, I think would be good. He's 2/1/1, but put a counter on each artifact creature controlled. I think that could get nasty. And for only 2, I think that's pretty good. Now, I could maybe look into things that untap creatures, but I don't want to put my bets that he'll get this card every turn or every game, because then I could put a card in there that lets me keep on tapping him. Again, I could be wrong, and there might be something better to go with that. Stormkiln Artist. I think I put him in my Electro deck. Whenever you cast a copy of an instant sorcerer spell, create a treasure token, and he gets 1+0 for each artifact. I think that's the main thing you're looking at, is buffing him up with all the artifacts out. The casting sorcery instant, I'm looking at my instants and sorceries. I don't think I have a lot, so I don't know if I should rely on those more or rely on having more artifact creatures more. I'm not sure. Stride, Hanger Automation, Maton. Thopters you control get 1/1, so that's not bad. We have a few people kicking out Thopters. If 1 or more artifact tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional Thopter artifact creature token with flying are created instead. So I guess you got to go. I think it has to happen. It's not a may. So if it may be created under your control, you'd get a 1/1 Thopter. If it's you have to, it's gonna suck for the stronger tokens you get. But who knows? It might play off well, maybe not. Thopter same being 1/1s does help. But Maybe you want to have some clues. Maybe you want to have some mutagens. I don't know. So this one, again, is in the air a little bit. I don't know if that's a good bet. It's a good card, I think. I think you only could get it in that commander deck. I'm not sure. Third path, icon class. When you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier, artifact, creature token. Again, this is for the infinity I'm looking at. And a non-creature spell could be artifacts. So we have a little handful of artifacts, and then we have, of course, instant sorceries and enchantments that could do that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm loading up on too many creatures. I'm not sure yet. And Urza, again, I think my artifact deck's around him. He's just a good card. Everybody likes this card. I think the only thing that kind of sucks is like everybody plays him, so it's not too original. I don't really need to read you what he does, but he's a good creature, and I think he's worth, of course, playing. Whirler Rogue. When he enters battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless Thopters artifacts free for artifact creatures tokens with flying. Tap 2 untap artifacts you control. Target creature cannot be blocked. I think that part alone in the back is really good. That's why he's a 4 cost and he's only a 2/2. He is 35 cents, not very valuable, uncommon. But I don't know. I think it's kind of worth it. You're getting 2 bodies coming in when he enters. And then I have him in my Blink deck. I have the... what is that? Not Fallout. Is it Fallout? Yeah, Fallout. Fallout 1. He looks cooler. I like it. How he looks in it. And it's cool to blink for me because I just blink and make a bunch of Thopters. And I could tap 2 of those Thopters and make my big dog, whoever I got out there, go unblocked. So we're going to go sorceries. I didn't realize how small we have. Fabricate, search out artifact. Great, whatever. We have a million artifacts. You pick out what you need in time. Held to Pay. Held to Pay deals X damage to target creature. Create number of tapped treasure tokens. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens. I always feel like they don't come in tapped. But I guess you do tap them. Equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to the creature this way. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. I put it in there, and I thought you could target maybe a 1/1, and if you have enough mana, then you'll get paid 5, you'll get whatever, 4 treasures or something. But I don't know. It may not be worth it. Jessica's Will, I think, should be in there. Choose one if you control a commander. If you control a commander, if as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Add it red for each of your each card. I don't know why I'm reading this. You guys know what this does. And target's opponent's hand. Then exile top 3 cards of your library. You may play them at your turn. Playing that for free, I think, is a no-brainer. Then we have Thoughtcast, Affinity for Artifacts. The spell costs, whatever, to draw a card. Costs 5, but I think if you have enough out, it's worth it. Again, could be wrong because I don't have that many sorceries in it. I don't know if that's going to hurt. But yeah, I could be wrong here. Big Score, again, a way to draw cards, a way to get cards. And this one, you discard a card and you get 2 cards and 2 treasures. I think that's really good. Unfortunately, Affinity's not going to work for this. So that will be an issue. You will have to have 4 mana to play this. Don't know if it's like amazing in this deck, but I do think it helps with draw power. Just have a counter spell in there, Cyclonic Rift in there, just a couple things to bail you out. Fierce Guardship to help you bail out. It is a non-creature spell, but I still think it's good. Ice Out I like a lot. I like to look at counters and see what other weird stuff they do. And if you play the bargain cost, sacrifice an artifact or enchantment or token, you cast this spell. So it just costs the same as a regular counter spell. Get rid of one of your tokens. I don't see the big deal. And you might be worth it. You might have a whole playing field of tokens and you don't care to lose a clue because it's going to help you pay less for your Ice Out. But I could be wrong, but I think that's pretty cool in this kind of deck. I wouldn't put it in other decks that don't have artifacts, of course. I love this card's drawing, so it's kind of hard for me not to be biased. Metalhead, I like him, and Donatello hooked with him. It looks so cool. Until the end of turn, target creature or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness for 5. Again, you could switch up one of your tokens, or any creatures, I guess, but but I mainly aim it for a token that's not doing much for you. Make it a 4/5, but it draws a card and it costs 3. But I think you're drawing a card and doing another cool ability with it. I think it's a good card for a common, but who knows? Oozespill, it's another counter. I think counters are pretty important in Commander. People hate you for it, of course, but if you're playing blue, they gotta expect it. You gotta live somehow. It is 3, but you do get a mutagen token with it. So I think that would help this whole shebang, help you out getting more artifacts. Just adding 1 more to you, I think is worth the cost of being 1 more higher than counter spell, because it's just counter target spell. We're not limited. We could counter anything. So I love that. I love that we could just counter anything and not worry if it's non-creature or whatever. And you're getting mutagen tokens. So I think it's something that fits in here. Again, I could be wrong, but it feels good. Presmary Command, I could be saying that wrong. Choose 2. I think this card's amazing. It's only 49 cents, so go grab them. He deals 2 damage, or they deal 2 damage to any target. Not bad. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards, or player creates a treasure token, or destroy target artifact. So there's a lot you can do with those 2 choices. If you need cards, if you want to get just a token, they have an artifact that's bugging you. 2 damage to any target. That might be the least favorite out of all of them for me. But for 3 and getting 2 out of those, I don't think it's bad. And they're red-blue, so it fits in there. Rapid, I mean, you know, get out of something. Someone got a huge 20/20, make them a 3/3 frog lizard. It really helps out. I think Reality Shift is one I was iffy on, but I don't know. I just like the idea that it costs 2 just to exile a creature. Now you're gambling here because what they're manifesting out of the top of their library is kind of scary. Because it's a 2/2 creature, but then they could turn it up at any time for its mana cost. So if it's something really good that's going to help them, you kind of screw yourself. But I don't know. Maybe you guys give me ideas of what to put in or what to help out with this. Reality Shift, I think, is cool because you want to exile creatures. Red and blue don't really get to see exile. They mainly destroy or return to hand. That's the reason why I kind of like lean towards Reality Shift a little bit, because it's nice to just exile something, get it out of here. But again, is it worth the gamble? I don't know. Scour for scrap again. I believe this is a newer card, I think. Because this is from Edge, but it costs 4. Choose 1 or both. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Pulling stuff back from your graveyard is always good. I think this is more of a late game card or a mid game card. Losing creatures, sacrificing creature while you have it in your hand, it's not bad, knowing you can bring them back. Does cost 4, so I don't know if that's the greatest. But I think being able to pick both is pretty good deal. I might be wrong. Again, I built this with the best intentions, but I may not be the greatest at building. But I did think it was a pretty cool card, and I thought it could do some work. If you have Emery out there, you don't really need to worry about, and I mean, she may not be out there forever, but you could just not worry about people dying because you could keep casting them out. Right? Because I haven't played her in forever, but it's choose target artifact card in the graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. Yeah, so she's just good tapping her in. But, you know, again, if you're playing Commander with everybody and they know what she does, they most likely will try to get rid of her because that's a pain. Arcane Signet, I think it just needs to be in there. Commander's Plate, I think I want it there to protect your Donnie and Raph. So you can swing and not die, get protected by their colors. It's 1, but it'll cost you 3 because it's on the commander. So I think that's not bad for Commander's Plate. I really like that, but again, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I like that. Darksteel Forge, artifacts you control are indestructible. I just think he needed to have some power in here. I know it's a 9-drop, but if the affinity does go off with Raph and Dawn, this is totally worth it, and we could get it out. I'm trying to up his game a little bit and let him have more of a chance against us because he's learning and trying to do stuff. So I am putting a little cards in here that if the other guys would put in, I'm like, dude, that's broken. Because I feel like if you get this out, it's pretty crazy. Again, you can get rid of this artifact and it's all fair. So it's not like super broken, but it's just something they probably wouldn't expect him to have in his deck. Diamond Pickaxe I liked. I don't know if I'm wrong. It's indestructible. It's a red 1-drop. When a equipped creature gets it, equipped creature gets +1/+1. It has whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Huge thing for me about this is attack again. You don't have to do damage. So if you got someone that you know that's just going to be blocked and not die, you're going to be making tokens. And I think that's really good. And it's only 2 to equip, and you're indestructible. So you could just be getting chump blocked all the time. Just keep making tokens. I think it's really good. I don't know. It is an uncommon. $1.49 is pretty up there. That's Card Kingdom, of course. TCG has it for 116. I think this is a really good card. This is one card that if someone told me I would remove it from the deck, I probably would not want to, because I think it's really cool. Gives you indestructible for 1 red, and 2 to equip, and then you get a +1/+1, and then make treasures every time you attack while you're indestructible. I mean, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Donnie's Bow, which is Shadow Spear. Again, wanted to give him some Donnie love. So we got Donnie back in here, but it's Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear is just an amazing artifact. Equipped creature gets 1/1. It has trample and lifelink, and of course with 1 you could turn off all their hexproof and indestructible. I think that card has to go in any deck, period. I don't see why you wouldn't use it. Inspiring statutory. Non-artifact spells you have non-artifact spells you cast have improvise. So there's only a handful in here. I don't know if this is the best thing to have. It is a token, but there is a few things like the dragon, her, him. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it or not yet. The only things that will help it is instant sorceries and your enchantments. And I think enchantments play a big deal for me in this, I think. So, I don't know. Is it signet? Just to have there. It's an artifact. It gives you colors. Worth having. Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Again, to protect Donnie and Raph. That's my whole thing. Is a few things to protect him. Mox Amber. Something big to give him. I wanted him to have something big that would help him get a jump. Add 1 money of any color among your legendary creatures and planeswalker you control. So having a red or blue for 0, I thought was good. Jump on us if he gets at an open hand. Again, I'm trying to make him be able to fight against us and do decent. Nettle Size, I don't know if I said that right. I love this card. Living Weapon, of course, 0/0 comes in as a Phyrexian. Then you attach it comes in attached with it, with ability. But you can always equip it to someone else, and it's always for each enchantment and artifact you control. And you're playing basically artifacts, so you could have a big guy, and I think that's really good. This one was a swinging at the fence for me. Portal to Phyrexian. When Portal Phyrexian enters battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. I thought that was kind of cool. If they're getting a board state, again, this costs 9, but I told them maybe, you know, the affinity will work. If you get Diamond Pickaxe on them, on Donnie and Raph, this could become really handy making treasures and being able to cast something like this. But it all is situational. I know a lot of people like to play commander decks with like a certain idea of how they want their first hand to be, second hand, third hand. We kind of just hope and pray, I would say. So I think I seen him pull it out during one game, and it helped him a little bit. But at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. If it's a Phyrexian in addition to other types. So again, if you're losing with their artifacts, but you have them out, that artifact out, and your artifact creatures, you're just letting them chump block, but then you could just cast them again, or your upkeep put it on the battlefield, you're not casting it. I think that's pretty good. And it's an expensive card, but I think it's worth being in this deck. Sol Ring, I just think whatever. 2 colorless for 1. I mean, they're in most decks, but definitely an artifact deck. Unwinding Clock I liked a lot. Untap all artifacts you control during each player's untap step. I think this would be more broken than thinking. I thought it was really broken, but maybe I'm reading into it wrong. But yeah, I just think that'd be great. During each player's untap step, you're untapping all your creatures. They get to block again. Anything that has to be tapped to do something gets to be untapped if it's an artifact. Yeah, I just think it's a decent card, and I think it's fun to have in there. So we have a few enchantments. Does Machines, again, want to give Donatello some love. When this class enters, mills 2 cards. We do have a few cards that bring out from the graveyard, but you get to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. So another way to draw for in a pit. For 2, a blue and a colorless, we get to level it up. To level 2, return up to 2 target artifact cards from your graveyard to your hand. Another way to get your artifacts back that you've lost. And then for 5, which I don't know if you'll go there, beginning of combat, on your turn, put a 3/1/1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a robot creature addition to its others. So I think if you get to that, it's pretty, as the Ninja Turtles would say, gnarly. It's pretty cool. But that does cost a lot and would take some time. I just like having a 2-drop that lets me get 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Again, you're going to mill, but I guess you have a little bit of faith that you could bring stuff back. Yeah, maybe it's not the best, but I think it's decent. Efficiency, construction, whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 Thopter. I just think it's good. I might be wrong. It costs 4, but I think so having so many artifacts is just worth it, especially if you're working with the commander that's working with affinity for non-creature spells. So I think it's helpful. When you play non-creature spell, I'm sorry. You cast this turn, you have affinity for artifacts. So I believe if you just play any regular artifacts, it's a non-creature spell. You get to use that as well as the enchantment. So you got a handful, but I don't know if the sorcery or the instants are enough. I really want someone to help me out with this. Mechanized production, I think, is just good. 4-drop. Enchanted artifact you control at the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. And if you have the control of the same or the same name as one another, you win the game. I won this with a pirate deck and made a bunch of treasures like on turn 4 or 5. It felt like the cheapest way to win. I didn't like it, but again, I'm trying to give him a step up to have a little bit more. I almost want to remove it for the pirate deck because it wasn't a fun game. Like, it was stupid just to be like, oh, my turn. I have a million treasures. Sorry, guys, it's over. But giving him a little bit of headway to try to be a little competitive or have other ways to win, I want to give him a chance. So I put that in there. I think it's fine. If it comes out, maybe more difficult to do. But if you have something that like pumps out stuff every time, like Mugen token, and whenever another thing comes out, you get another Mugen token. That might be a thing. It's all whatever. Propaganda, I like propaganda. I'm a whore for propaganda. I think it's really good. If it comes out, if you're playing blue, I like to play blue and people hate me for that. I'm sorry. I know everyone hates blue players, but they just got so many fun things. I don't even counter that much. It's just a lot of drawing and a lot of synergy with instants and sorceries. I really like a lot of stuff like that. But I just think propaganda is just a good way to get yourself protected. Unless, like me, I was playing it the other day and my friend just had one big guy and it didn't really matter. One big flying monster. And it didn't matter. I was getting hit with 9 every turn. And then Thopter Spy Network is the last enchantment. Again, I think it just has to go in any artifact deck that has blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, you guys should know, if you control an artifact, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter. Whenever you one or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Another way of drawing cards. We have about, I don't know, maybe about 6, 7, 8 ways to draw cards in here. If we get some permanents out here that could really stay like this and let us keep drawing, that's great. We don't have to worry about things. But that's why I put big score in here. And I thought I was going to put another one in here. But I don't know. There might be more I need to add. I'm trying to figure all this out. I'm really trying to figure this out. We don't play with crazy lands. We don't do a lot of we don't do fetches really. Sometimes we do shocks, but with his, they're pretty basic. Escape Tunnel, Frost Boil, Great Furnace, Artifact, Land, so counts as Artifact. Venture's Fair, I think is really good. You'll keep getting life with that if you control 3 or more. Yeah, they're just basic, nothing crazy. I don't think any of these are. Treasure Vault's a little better than a normal land. You can sacrifice Treasure Vault and get that many tokens if it's one of those moments. But yeah, so that's the deck. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're on the right path, if it's good as it is. I'm sure it's not. If you guys think I should have more sorceries in it, more instants in it, I'm ears wide open. Is it eyes wide open? Ears are wide open. I did find another card that just came out in Strixhaven that I wanted to put in. I texted them and showed a picture of it. Forgot what it does. Something, I think when you play Artifact, you get to draw a card or something. So another way for them to draw. But basically what I've surrounded it around is all the Artifact creatures. Is basically what it looks like. What came to my mind when I was building it and thinking about making it cheaper to get them out and using basically these artifacts to get them out. But that's kind of rough. Or enchantments, I should say. Let's say fabricates. So sorceries and instants to get it when they attack. Because they have to attack in the next turn. That's what happens. I'm sorry. They attack the next creature spell has infinity. The non-creature spell. So I did that. So again, hopefully you can play any of these for infinity cost. Enchantments for infinity cost. The biggest ones are these 9 artifacts, you know. But again, maybe I'm doing this all wrong. I don't know. Try my best. Try and make them happy with Donatello. And Raphael's my favorite, so it's Raph and Don. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you guys if you do watch this. I don't know what bracket it said it was. It told me. Oh, it said bracket 3 when it, because I had Cyclonic Rift, Fierce Guardianship, and Jessica. Well, no Mass Land Denial, whatever. But that's what they say it. I don't think it's a 3. I think it might be a 2. Who knows? I mean, there is some strong cards in there though. But anyways, hopefully someone will watch this and someone will give me an idea what to do and what to change. Yeah, there are some fun cards I think in here, but is it worth playing? Is it worth being able to win or being a contender? So we're turning off OBS because we don't edit. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.